video will show you how to complete a lobster trip in JOBEL. From the trip register, click on the Add Trip button. A trip consists of 5 pages to which can be added the forms for interaction with species at risk, marine mammal, the declaration of lost gear, and the report of inactivity during your fishing effort. Page 1 is dedicated to general information of trip. A logbook unique identifier composed of 6 capital letters will be generated automatically for each new trip. To bring modifications to the crew registry, click on the Remove Crewman button or Add Crewman. These modifications will only affect this trip. Complete the requested information, then click on the next blue button. If you forget to fill information, the field will be displayed in red with an error message and you won't be able to move on to the next page until you correct the mistakes. Page 2 concerns the departure. Enter the date and time by clicking on the automatic clock. Clicking on the hour calendar and hour dial can manually change the time. When all fields are correctly filled, click on the next blue button. Page 3 concerns your fishing effort. Complete information such as the date and time of the start of the effort. The type of gear is automatically filled according to your settings. The soak duration, which by default is 1 day, may be modified to your needs. Indicate the number of traps you have hauled. Then, complete the section of catches in pounds or kilos. JOBEL will automatically do the conversion. If you have other catches or bycatches in your traps, click on the blue button Add Catch or Add Bycatch and fill in the requested information. Depending on your fishing region, some special fields required by DFO will appear. At the end of your effort, enter the date and time, then type your GPS coordinates by clicking on Read GPS. Indicate if you've had an interaction with species at risk, marine mammal, if you've lost one of your fishing gear. If you answer yes, the corresponding form will appear in the following pages. Then indicate if you've had an inactivity period during your fishing effort, then click on the next button. Depending on your region, you will have to complete the baits used during your fishing trip. Complete the requested information. If you use a second bait, click on the blue button Add Bait. To remove a bait, for example during your last fishing trip of the season, remove it by clicking on Remove Bait. Then, click on the blue button Next. Page 5 is dedicated to courier transfers, personal use and the arrival. If you are concerned with transfers, the section will open automatically if you've answered yes to the question of transfers and transport in the settings of your module. Complete the information about the transfer from your pond to your carrier vessel. Then, complete the information about the transfer from your boat to your pond. In the personal use section, all the catches that have been kept on board and that will not be sold to a registered buyer must be declared as catches for personal use. In the arrival section, enter your arrival time by clicking on the automatic clock. Your arrival port is entered automatically from your settings. You have now completed all the pages of your trip. Click on Review. The revision page collects all the data entered into your logbook and which will be transmitted to DFO. Make sure that all the data is correct because you can still modify them by clicking on Edit Trip. You will then be directed to page 1. Click on the next button until the page where you have to make the correction, for example page 3 of the fishing effort, to correct the estimated kept weight. The correction is made. Click on Next until the last page of your logbook and click again on Review. When the information is verified, press on Close Trip and confirm by clicking on OK. Your trip appears now in the Close Trip section. Send to DFO as soon as you have a good internet connection by clicking on OK. The green check mark indicates that it has been transmitted to DFO. To consult your trip, press on View plus the logbook unique ID. The transmission log at the bottom of the trip data page confirms that the trip is well transmitted when all the tracks are green. If you wish, you can print the crew registry and the landing receipt by clicking on the corresponding buttons. To go back to the Trip Register page, click on Return to Trip Register. You can consult other visual guides at jobel.ca/guides.